upgrades for the Atlas 6x6. I've really been going to town on this thing. I really love this crawler. So far, it's pretty impressive, and it's kind of the right size for indoor outdoor. Um, yes, it won't do everything that the 110th does and above, um, but not really by far, man. I mean, this thing is pretty badass. I've taken it out on several occasions. I've had a couple issues. The most recent issue I have is, let me turn you around. I'll show you what I'm talking about here. The most recent issue that I've had is actually inside the transmission. These transmissions are basically the same thing as a CR18 or 24, which is a Hobby Plus brand. They also use the same one in RGT, ECX Barrage, Enduro 24. It's all the same type of setup. The problem is, let me get the bag to show you what I'm talking about. All right, so this is what you have. And again, this is the Hobby Plus Complete Vehicle Gear Set. See if it says on here. Nope, it doesn't say which one it's for. This is the same set that they use for the 24 and the 18. Here's the gears that you have, guys. They are all plastic. Now, in my case, let's see if I can figure out which one it is. It's not the spur. It may be, those are both ring gears. It's one of these littler gears, and I might have already used it. I don't remember because this package has been open for a while, so I use it in different things. But it's one of these gears that's kind of similar in size to this, and I can show you this right here. So you see how the inside cut there on the ring gear, if I get this focus, is like a D. Actually, it's not a D. It's like a circle with two lines going down through it, make it straight. That is what has rounded off. And again, we are just using a brushed setup. I have not switched over to brushless yet, but that's kind of the whole point of this video here. I will be. But again, we just got a 130 motor in there, and we got a decent ESC now. We got the FuryTech Lizard, I think is what it is, with the Bluetooth and all that crap. And the issue is there's more torque on these little plastic gears than what they can handle. These things are like nylon or whatever. The gears themselves are fine. You don't have a lot of rotation. You don't have a lot of RPMs. So mainly what you have is the inner parts here that usually either wear out, strip, whatever, melt, those kind of things. It's kind of weird, but that's what happens. So back to the point of this, get it zoomed back out here for you, is this. We now have a brushless motor wire, which will replace the brushed one that I bought. And no, I don't feel bad about buying this because I'll keep this. I still may use it for something else. I'm sure I'm going to get another system of some sort. And I now have an entire FuryTech Alcatraz transmission system. This one is specifically made for the 6x6. Well, let me show you what. It goes in a couple different cars. So at the top, you can see it's made for Enduro 24. If I can get this thing to focus here a little bit. Hold on. Okay, I can't really get it to focus. I'll just read it to you. It says Enduro 24, Atlas 6x6, CR24, which is the Hobby Plus, RGT, RC Crawler, and RC Crawler 124, whatever that is. So RGT 124. It does fit in other stuff too, like the Barrage. I don't know if it has that on here. No, it doesn't have it on here. It's the same mounting and stuff on the bottom here. This is your skid plate. It looks very similar to the SCX 24, but it is a little bit different. As you can see, the size is different, which the FuryTech ones are always bigger. But you can see the little mounting nubs don't really line up there. So that's mainly what you got to worry about here. You can always adapt one, I guess, if you really wanted to. This guy over here, we're working on fitting the battery tray in there a little bit better to get it kind of a little more low CG. But this one here, it's a nice setup, guys. I mean, I just bought the whole assembly. It's a FuryTech Alcatraz. It's a Komodo. What is this? 2204. So it's 1400 kV. I don't know if you can see that or not. And it's got a nice little pin. I actually like this style here. So look at the pinion. I mean, you can easily access the set screw. You can access that without taking all this crap apart. And if you want to adjust anything, you got your two little bolts or screws or whatever right there that you can slide it back and forth for bigger, smaller pinion. Everything is metal as far as I can tell. I don't think that's plastic. I can't honestly tell, but everything should be fine in here. I mean, everything just looks quality to me. It looks like the pieces that you buy for their gear sets that are metal. I know that one is right there. I can see that. And this is the carbon piece, the plate that you would buy, the adapter plate for the Komodo motor. So it comes in a little set. Now, I was just like, hell, I'm just going to buy the whole damn set. It just seemed like a better choice. And there you go. It's going to fit in there just like that. And then it'll fit down in there, something like that. And then we're going to get this thing out for a drive. So that's what my plan is here. I'm just going to go ahead and put it together. And to do this, it's super, super simple. So, okay, on the RG or the 6x6, you take out these two screws. That little silver piece comes off. Underneath there's two more screws where you see right there, and then the whole pipe comes off. Excuse me. And then from there, you have a couple of screws underneath here for the skid plate. And same on the opposite side. Take off your links. And you can leave the shafts on there. We can put them on the new one over here. And then you just pull the whole entire assembly out. Put the new one in, hook up the shafts, put a few screws in. I mean, easy peasy, you're done. So this job is not going to be very difficult. I'm not going to show the entire thing here. So what I'm going to do is I'll get it in there. Then I'll show you that. And then we'll kind of take a look and see how good or bad it does. Before that, though, let's actually get a little bit of a preview on how good it creeps along now, which is actually a really good speed, especially with the Lizard Pro in there. So I'll hook up the battery here, and then we'll just kind of show you how it moves along, how it climbs a little bit. Maybe we'll put the Hobby Wing box in front of there, see if it'll climb it straight ahead. And then afterwards, we'll put the other one in there and show you what the differences is. What we're going to do is we're going to go in backwards, because as you can see, the back is the only thing that even has a chance to come at it straight. The front has this bumper, which I don't want to take off. And the clearance is kind of there if it's, held up high. But, if it gets bound up, it won't do anything. So we'll try it a couple different ways. I guess we can try it both ways. It's not a problem. So let's see if it'll come straight on and what she'll do. So this is the slow speed, the slowest that I can go. Okay, so I've got maybe 1/8 of the throttle here. Push it up to 1/4, get a little bit more, a little more. Okay, there's close to half. A little bit more. Now it starts to bind up, and then it'll go. So it gives you about half throttle-ish, somewhere in that neighborhood, and then you'll be able to power through and come over this. So let's see what it does going in reverse, see if it's any easier, any better. All right, so we'll try to do the same thing. We'll try to get the modulation right here. Take it as slow as we can. So I'm about 1/4 there. Same thing, about 1/2. Okay, so, I mean, it will do it. It does get a little bit on a jumpy side, and we've got a fantastic ESC in here. So let's get the Fury Tech installed here, and then we'll kind of see how good or bad that does and have a little bit of a comparison for you. And again, we just took this off, and then we got 2 screws in here to remove the entire pipe assembly. Then we can access the skid plate super easy. Okay, and as you can see, we now have access to the skid. And there are no screws to remove because the screws that were holding that in are in here. Which is a little different of a setup, but again, very easy. So we're going to do the other side here, get the plate out, and then I'll show you what the differences are. Now that we have both sides out, we have to take out the screws here for the links on both sides, and then this whole assembly should pull right out. Basically what I did is I just kind of forced the tabs out. Bam. Easy peasy. The entire thing comes right out of there. Super. Okay, she's all in, as you can see, in her nice, beautiful glory. Had to take off my pipes here because the bolts don't fit exactly. But guys, she's looking really pretty. And I'm anxious to see how the crawl is here, so let's get to it. I haven't anything in the app, which you can. It's all Bluetooth. Let's just see what our speed looks like. Oh wow, look at that. I barely got my finger on the trigger, and look at that. You can actually see the motor turning inside there. Look how slow that's turning. That right there is amazing. So this should give me a pretty good crawl now. As long as I don't get it bound up on something, we'll just hold the controller in front of it. So let's go quarter throttle like we did with the others. See where we can get with that. So that's quarter. And as you can see, she's trying to go with quarter. So let's give it half like we did with the others. There you go. Now, this battery here is only, what was it, 14%? Hold on a minute. This battery, as you can tell, is only 8% charged. So that's why it's stuttering a little bit, climbing up there. That has nothing to do with the performance of the system I have in here, or myself, you know, which a lot of times I am kind of my own problem. But I just wanted to get a quick little charge on here and show you the differences between the two. And I mean, this thing is just hands down so much cleaner, so much more control, slow control. I mean, even the wiring mess inside here, I can control it better. So I'm pretty happy with that, guys. We're going to have a lot of fun with this guy here. So if anybody has any questions on how to put these on, they're really super simple, except for on the FMS here, they don't give you the screws for the side. So I had to kind of drill and tap my own, and as you can see right there on the one on the side, the screw itself actually got broke. So that was kind of a bummer, but you know, it is what it is. Yeah, this is going to be pretty nice. It's got a decent balance to it too. I mean, just feeling on the weight and stuff, it feels pretty good. Compare it to the Axial over here, the SCX24. That feels good too. You know, it doesn't have the battery in it, obviously, but this has a good balance and feel to it. So I'm interested to see what it'll do. The body bed kind of thing's kind of growing on me a little bit. I kind of like it. I don't know. I may keep it, may not. I don't know yet. But I'm interested to see what this thing will do. Now,